It is April 7th, 2025, and this is Hungover Handwrite. Chad Hurlbrink. I'm Jonathan Sawyer.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Big weekend in combat sports as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
Not really the UFC as much, but combat sports as a whole. Big weekend. We are going to talk about all of that. All the stuff that happened except for boxing. Everything else we're going to talk about. So we got a lot to talk about there. Also, our news segment today is basically going to consist of almost all fight bookings.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of anything else.
Pretty much.
We're going to talk about all those. A lot of big fights have been booked as recently as like 2 hours ago in the UFC.
Wow.
Go through all those. And then we're going to talk about, of course, UFC 314. Vacant title fight.
It's a big one.
We're going to talk about that card. And then a couple of events that we're going to talk about that are also going on this weekend. It's kind of a slow weekend. I'm assuming a lot of organizations don't really want to compete with the big pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that. Chad, what did you do this past weekend?
Pretty much just hung out, babysitted the nephews, two little hellions along with my son. We were outnumbered, me and the girlfriend. So, but no, it was a good time. We had fun. We made a cot on the floor and watched TV. And
you live quite the insane life.
Yeah. Just a banger of a night. So it was a good time.
Yeah. I watched this card, most of it, by myself in my house, and that's kind of the way it should have been on this card, because this was not a great one.
Pretty lackluster, just in terms of how fights went.
Yeah,
there's a couple knockouts, but really, other than that, it was,
even for the hardcores like us, like this one, name value wise, was just really, I had a hard time getting excited about it.
Yeah.
Let's go through. Let's not spend a ton of time on these, but like, as always, we'll go bottom to top. Talita Alencar. I got this one wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, Talita Alencar, Vanessa Demopoulos. Alencar has attempted so many takedowns in the UFC, in her 3 UFC appearances before this, and has not gotten a lot of them.
Yeah.
Her takedown percentage was like 40% or something before this fight. And then she just thought about taking Vanessa down, and Vanessa just fell down in this fight. Like, it was just the easiest takedown she's probably ever gotten in her life. Top gamed her the whole time. Dominated.
Yeah, maybe she figured it out, or just Vanessa's just not very good at staying on her feet.
I think it's probably a combination of the two. I think Alencar, I did see on social media before this, was actually like on a wrestling mat training with wrestlers. So probably partially has gotten better, but also Vanessa just would fall down, and then she would have the fence right behind her, and she wouldn't even try to wall walk. She was just flat on her back, not doing anything. And she's a jiu-jitsu competitor too. Like, she competes in jiu-jitsu matches. So
yeah, that's rough. Not
a great showing. Martin Buday. This was a little bit controversial, I guess. Yuron Sadi Baldiev comes in here on like two days' notice.
He was a favorite.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I think he was like an LFA champ, I believe. But
yeah,
up a weight class. So. Literally weighed like 222 pounds. And Buday is a big, fat Slovakian guy, probably the slowest fighter in the UFC. I thought Buday looked terrible. But also, Sadi Baldiev, we'll see. Obviously, when he's at his normal weight class, maybe he'll show more than he did in this one. But this one was just 1-2 and move, move, 1-2, move, 1-2, 1-2, the whole fight, and then Buday would just hold him against the fence.
Yeah, crazy to be the favorite on your debut against a guy who's been in the UFC, like Buday.
Yeah, whatever it is. But Buday, he's literally 6-1 in the UFC now, which is, it's just hard to believe, man. I think he's horrible, but I don't know. I don't know what the ceiling is for I mean, what do you think?
I mean, you come in like that and you look, fairly decent against a guy who's been in the UFC and done his thing. Honestly, I think he's all right. I think he's pretty young, I thought, but I could be wrong on that.
He is.
We have no idea.
They don't know. I'm sure they've said, I'm sure, when on the tail of the tape and stuff. I don't remember. I think he's around 30, 31.
Okay, so I mean, he's in his prime. We could see him. He's going to get another fight for taking, maybe even a couple after taking 2-day notice fight.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's gonna do all right. Yeah, it was. He was, almost just very elementary with the striking in the sense of the straight 1-2s and move. Pretty basic, but went to a decision in a close.
I thought he won.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, Budai just basically would just hold him against the fence.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't even really trying to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
He'd just walk him down and just hold him against the fence, and that's pretty much all he did. I thought Saudi Baldiev landed the way better shots.
Yeah.
He hurt him in the third pretty bad.
Well, he's got power. I think all of his fights are finishes.
Yeah.
All of his wins, at least.
Yeah.
But and then it's strictly that 1-2, just heavy hands.
That was pretty much the only two things he threw. But Victor Henry beats Pedro Falcao. I didn't know anything about Falcao. Like, I don't know how I've missed this guy. But he's fought a few times in the UFC now. He's 0-2, twice, but he was on the Contender Series before that, way back in 2021. Victor Henry, he's pretty sharp on the feet.
Mm-hmm.
He's a pretty sharp boxer. Did well at not getting just grappled and just, I don't know, just kind of touched up Falcao a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he did what he did. I didn't know much about the Pedro Falcao guy either. So Victor did what he needed to do. Obviously, just
Victor Henry's he's been around for a long time in the UFC, but just does not fight that often.
There's several guys like that. Like a Gunnar Nelson. Fight once every 2 years or something.
We're going to talk about one later. Krylov.
Yeah.
Same way. All right, Loma Luke Boonmi. Well, she was a huge favorite in this fight, and this is Stella Nunes, who's literally 6-6 now. Actually, looked pretty good, I thought.
Yeah.
Like, she's a pretty good striker. She hung in there with Loma on the feet and just barely got edged out, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
I forgot who Estella has actually fought, but I think she had a couple of names on there that
she was supposed to be Molly's opponent. God, she's 0-5 in the UFC.
Ouch.
Ariane Carnelosi, Sam Hughes, Yasmin Howergy, Victoria Dudakova, which she lost that via dislocating her elbow, and in Loma. So I don't know. It's not like the
not
best
absolute killers, but
like Sam Hughes is tough.
Yeah.
Howergy is not durable, but is skilled at least. But yeah, I don't know. She's probably gonna get released. She's 0-5 in the UFC, but I think she's pretty decent actually. Like she's not that bad. Loma, I don't really know what the ceiling is for her. She's gotten better at the grappling for sure. She really, I mean, she's from Thailand. She's a Muay Thai fighter, but she's struggled with the grappling at times. It looked better. Your guy, Daniel Frunza,
did not do what he had done to him what I thought he was going to.
He got dropped like 3 times, didn't he?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm okay with the stoppages. I was pretty messed up and everything. And then the lip, I guess the lip was like the big deal.
It was. Did you see the picture Dana released of it? Or the video?
No, I didn't. I saw it obviously live.
Dude.
It was bad.
Yeah, they had him on his back right before they were going to put stitches in it. And you could see the vein or the blood vessel going across his lip, and you can see it pumping blood. It was gnarly. So
it was like an Alistair Overeem. For those of you who didn't see it, it was like Overeem against Rosenstruck, or like Robbie Lawler against.
Just, an axe wound.
Here's the thing: I'm okay with the stoppage. I get it. I still think he was gonna maybe win that fight.
Yeah,
like the second, like maybe the last minute and a half of that round, he was taken over, even after getting dropped 3 times and being beat up. I felt like, at least at the time, at the end of that second round, I would have lined it like maybe like plus 110 for Frunze. Like it was close still, but
that it was.
Yeah, I mean you can't really let that go. I mean it was splitting all the way up your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but that's again, how do you stop a fight on some things like we've said it 100 times when Axe Wound Head
Aldana.
Yeah, Aldana.
Yeah.
I mean, that looked like she took a sword to the face, and they let that go.
Is that
they let
not
Robbie
as bad?
Lawler go? Obviously,
Like,
that was back in the day, or Alistair Overeem. That happened last second of the fight, but
it's a freaking judgment call all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But good to Reese McKee and all that stuff, but that cut's gnarly. But sometimes I wonder, like they're in fighting, you're going to get cuts and stuff. Let them fight, unless it's.
And Frunze is not. He's not going to fight for like 6+ months, anyways.
Yeah.
So let's. I mean, yeah, it's brutal and it's gnarly looking, but let's let these guys go out like on their shield, go out, because It's not football. They're not going to play next Sunday. It's not hockey. They're going to play in 2 days. It's like no, they're not. They're not going to play for another.
And that's how you
6
get.
months.
And, which is, I think it does rob us sometimes because. Back in the day, the Robbie Lawler, Rory McDonald fight, they let that go. And look at the kind of fight that it was.
And Rory was never the same.
No, he was never the same. Yeah. But still, like maybe that's the argument towards it.
Yeah, I know,
but still, it's just
that was worse than this. I thought, like damage wise, and
I don't
know.
I mean, Robbie was split open. Rory's nose was pretty much just smashed into nothing.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still. I'm just confused at sometimes the doctor stoppages.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I like I said, I don't think it was I thought it was fine.
Yeah,
but that doesn't change the fact that I think Frunze was still in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Reese McKee, I know we talked a lot about Frunze. He gets his first UFC win. He was 0-4 across 2 different stints. Names like Chimaev were on there, Chidi and Jakwani.
Mm-hmm.
Finally gets his first win. He's good. But I still think he is just so hittable.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are going to pick him apart, I think, at the next level of the UFC. But we'll see.
I also think he needs to go back down.
Weight class?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to a bigger dude, sure, he's kind of lanky himself, but when it comes to bigger people, he just gets big brothered.
Yeah, and Frunze is wasn't even that big either. He's like a small welterweight too, right?
No, he's Frunze, I think, is going to be back.
Yeah,
he's got the personality and the capability. He's got power for days, so I think we'll see him back.
This next one, really, these two shouldn't have fought each other. Diani Barboza just completely dominated Diana Belbita. Belbita has always sucked, honestly.
Yeah, she's
always been one of the worst fighters in the UFC. This like straight up skills, but she's hot. And to her credit, she like is willing to scrap, but this one was not close. I mean, on the feet, I thought Barboza was hitting her with the better shots, and Barboza just threw her down and subbed her. Arm triangle choke, easily.
Just a one-sided affair.
And I think Barboza was like minus 1,100.
Yeah,
so,
huge favorite.
Why was this booked? Speaking of why is Torres Finney in the UFC?
Yeah, I mean. Credit to him, he's able to get takedowns, but he doesn't do anything with those takedowns.
Like I said, it's crazy that every one of them he picks them up.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just like trip or snatch single.
No, just shoves them against the fence and then he picks them up.
And just like Hulk smash.
He's just freakishly strong, super long arms.
Yeah.
But they stopped the fight. Beltran stopped the fight. He had his head between his legs so he wouldn't get hit. Valentin was having to punch like this underneath his armpits.
Yeah.
And they stopped it. They're like, okay, you got it. He was just leaning against him. Obviously, he's stronger than Valentin. Valentin was looking better on the feet, obviously. But I'm not saying Valentin was a straight killer.
No.
But he was definitely the more polished striker in the sense of
100%. But that's who isn't.
True. I agree. But Torres Finney, I mean, we gotta be able to stop a takedown by him.
Yeah.
And he did what he needed to do. The split decision is wild with that one judge giving Valentin
all 3 rounds.
All 3 rounds.
So,
he won the last round.
Yeah, probably.
That was the only one I gave him.
But, like, say you don't take your job seriously without saying you don't take your job seriously.
Yeah. And I was... apparently, I was reading about it, and they said he was a boxing judge, and then the promotion, the commentator said it. I think Bisping said it and all that stuff. And I read about it, and people were talking, and according to the 10-point must system, which boxing revolves around, that's what it's from, he scored it correctly. People are saying he went off of correctly in the sense of
damage and
control time, or control in a sense of
effective striking and grappling is like their big thing.
Yeah.
And that if that's equal, then you go to control time or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't like, how can you not say that that was effective grappling? Like that Finney won by a mile based on effective grappling.
Yeah, like he effective. I don't know if they. I know it says effective grappling and striking in the sense of those have to be comboed together. Like okay, you got him to the ground, but now here comes where's the effective striking? Like ground and pound, which there was none of.
There was none.
But
there was none coming back the other way either.
No. I mean, obviously, I'm not a huge fan of Finney or anything. I thought he won the fight. I gave Valentin the last round.
It sucks. It's boring, but it's like there's just no way that you can say that guy lost the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It was Torres Finney's is gonna have real fucking issues when he runs into somebody that a good, like it is even a halfway decent striker, but can stop takedowns.
Here's I mean, my big thing here, my big takeaway from this is, so like you're saying, guys, the first 2 guys on the Contender Series he fought, they did get up and they did punch him.
Mm-hmm.
The first guy that he fought had him wobble, stanky legging all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Second guy was able to get up, and they had a little bit of a back and forth on the feet. So guys can do that. Now, I think this looks really bad for Valentin, considering that was the easiest Finney fight of the 3, probably, or of the 4. Maybe the last Contender Series one was he got him out of there quick.
Yeah,
but that was the easiest,
in a sense. Yeah,
that he's had in a long time, right there.
I mean, Valentin did get up, but I mean, even when he would try to engage, he would not mix anything up, and he ended up right back on his ass. So I mean, congrats to Finney. I'm not trying to be a hater on you, but I don't like your stuff.
It's also crazy that Dana publicly basically shit on him and said, "Hey, you got to do damage."
Yeah,
and then he comes back, third time, and he finishes the guy at ground and pound. So it's like, okay, I publicly have been shamed for being boring by Dana White. First fight,
UFC, the whole world.
You don't throw a punch, like it's crazy. I wanted to see real quick. I meant to have this ready, but I wanted to see how many punches he actually threw. It's just like, I don't know, man. Like, you're in the UFC again after being publicly shit on by Dana White, and that's what you do right there. First fight. 4 strikes.
Wow.
4 for 8 in significant strikes.
Yeah.
That's not takedowns.
No, that's wild.
Strikes.
It just tells me, okay, I am so uncomfortable on the feet. But you're also not doing anything on the ground either. You're just holding somebody.
That's the thing. Valentin is dangerous on the feet and is hold downable. Like, everyone does it to him, or he spends a lot of time on his back at least. But you gotta try to finish fights. Yeah. If you're a fighter. I mean, you just have to. You
have to. I feel, and that's where I feel I have no problem with wrestling and stuff like that. No problem. There's some wrestlers out there. Even Khabib was one of the best. But guess what? He finished people.
Yeah.
He at least was working towards it. His ground and pound was crazy. His pressure was crazy on top. Islam does the same thing, except Islam can actually strike with the best of them.
Yeah.
Another guy that I don't think really does it is Gamrot, and I've been vocal about it. these are just strictly wrestlers that struggle on the feet and don't like to do anything but hold your legs and hold you down.
See, the thing with Gamera is I feel like he has the skill to actually strike with people.
And I think I agree too.
He just doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's where he's comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to move on from this, but like I think Valentine, he's going to lose the next one and he's going to get cut like every Ultimate Fighter guy nowadays, pretty much. I think he's probably gone. I think Finney, he may keep winning, honestly, but the first time he loses, see ya.
Yeah,
and maybe they may even cut him off wins too if he keeps doing this shit. So, anyways, Odie Osborne, I've always liked Odie. He's been around a long time. He's had some tough losses, obviously. Probably should have beat old Ronaldo Rodriguez on Noche. Gets Luis Gurule out of here, just like that 2 down the pipe. Sits him down, TKOs him.
Yeah, you look good. I thought I've never been a hater of Odie here, so he looked good. He was athletic, super fast. I mean, looked good.
Yep, he's always been really fast, and there was definitely a big difference in this one. Brad Tavares, Gerald Meerschaert. I don't even have a real recollection of what happened in this fight.
It was essentially Brad walking down Meerschaert, kicking him like you said he would, kicking the front leg. There was at one point I thought Meerschaert was on his way to getting knocked out. Brad had the heavier hands, and then towards the end, Meerschaert kind of found another gear and had Brad backing up a little bit, but Brad had already won. Like it was.
Yeah. Brad slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
There sometimes, but yeah, I mean it's.
I thought after the first round, I was like, Meerschaert's getting knocked out here quick in the second, and Brad for some reason just couldn't.
He just always kind of finds a way to sneak his way to a decision and then lose. Almost always, or he either subs you, or he win, or he loses a not close decision.
Yeah,
basically. But the Korean Khabib, Chang Ho Lee, actually looked really good. I thought.
Yeah, no, pure domination. Cortavius, are you not entertained? Romeus, I thought was going to be the better athlete. Because he's so jacked, he was pretty long. I mean, he's short. He's got long arms. He is pretty quick, but Chang Ho Lee came out and fucking said, "Nuh-uh," and mollywopped his ass.
Kind of grappling clinic.
Yeah, could not do anything. Cut him open, elbows from the top, just a body triangle, and fucked him up essentially. So I mean, that's what it.
And Romeus missed weight as well, 3.5 pounds, right? I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily shocking because he's already so lean.
Yeah,
but
man, you're freaking 5'4".
I know it's wild.
I mean, that is I don't know. Like, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, you gotta.
I mean, because if he goes up to 35, obviously he could go up to 35, but he's 5'4". Like, I don't know how that works, but I don't know. I don't know if he's honestly got a whole lot of time in this.
Probably
organization,
not.
But
probably not.
We'll see. Man, this one was disappointing. Pat Sabatini, obviously, you could say did similar to Torres Finney, but really was more dominant. And Rito had nothing. He couldn't even get up.
No, he couldn't do it. Pat was on top. He threw elbows from the top as well. He was. Ground and pound was there. I mean, obviously, it wasn't as bad as Torres Finney, but I was shocked by this one too. I thought Brito was going to be bringing it a little bit more than he did, but it was like you said, a little disappointing just from his performance at least.
I think the only thing I got right about this is I said that Brito was going to, like, when he did get up, he was going to try to kill him immediately. Like, he wasn't going to like be scared and stay on the outside. He did. When he, started the rounds, and I think he did get up at one point, and he did try to knock his head off, and then immediately back down.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the only thing I got right about this. I think pretty much everybody, like, these betting guys and everything, were probably on Brito. Like, Pat Sabatini's been TKO'd by Damon Jackson. Like, I think everyone kind of thought Brito was going to kill him, but I mean, good win. Sabatini's another Marquez MMA guy. Sean Brady, Joe Pyfer, Nur Sultan. These guys. They just kind of just keep getting it done. They're just better grapplers than everybody. Speaking of grapplers, I guess Josh Emmett
Josh Emmett.
turns into a grappler against Lerone Murphy. Obviously, Lerone wins the decision. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was a good fight. I definitely wasn't expecting grappler Emmett, but like we did say, Lerone's definitely the more crisp striker. Emmett did get in his face, and Lerone didn't want any part of that in the sense of against the cage. He felt he got hit a couple times by Emmett, and he was tough enough. He was definitely pretty sound defensively to avoid getting hit with anything clean. Lerone kept spamming that liver kick. I mean, and he landed several times. And I was screaming for him. Why did he stop the last 2 rounds? Why did he stop kicking the leg, the front lead leg of Emmett? Because after the 3rd round, Emmett was having trouble like putting weight on the front.
And Emmett won't switch either.
No, he just I was screaming. I remember I had my phone and I was playing the game and I'm screaming to Dylan over my headset, why kick the fucking front leg? And he can barely walk on it.
Yeah.
And Lerone, I know Emmett got cut, but they had a head clash.
It was weird. It was like a clash of heads and then immediately an elbow right after.
Yeah.
And it was hard to tell what did it.
Yeah, because I had it right here, and I was looking up, and I looked down. I'm like, oh,
even on the replay on the TV, like it could have been either or. It was,
but I mean, it was a good fight. Lerone got booed. Everybody, the crowd really thought Emmett won, but I think
I didn't score it I didn't score it like real time. Like, okay, I think it was 2, whatever. I didn't do that, but by the end of it, I was like, I think Lerone won. Like, I thought he won.
I thought he did too. I thought it was close. Like it wasn't. I think they scored it 48-47 and then 50-47 or
49-47
or no
49-48 or
my math is
are we stupid?
up.
48-47
yes.
or 49-46.
Yeah, that's what it 49-46.
Yeah. I mean, it was unanimous. So again, like, you know, this whole card basically not the most exciting in the sense that Lerone was safe. He stayed really safe. But Emmett's a guy that, first of all, the wrestling was weird. Emmett was getting frustrated and just because he couldn't find him. But that's the thing with Emmett, man. Like, if you're fighting Emmett, you know he's going to follow you around and he's going to try to cut you off and kill you with the right hand. So if you're Lerone Murphy, why play that game with him when you can just... Lerone kind of was... You know, obviously there's a lot of nuance to what he was doing, but it was kind of a simple plan of like, you know, the band, a simple plan. Shout out. Like move, obviously, and feint a lot.
Yeah.
Because Emmett, the movement and the feints, Emmett was, you kind of freeze Emmett up a little bit when you feint instead of him cutting you off and throwing that right hand. As soon as maybe he does cut you off and then Lerone feints.
Yeah. And
it kind of freezes Emmett for a second, doesn't get that right hand off.
Yep, and he did. I mean, to counter the right hand, he would step in with those elbows.
Yeah.
Those front elbows and everything, and they were landing. I mean, I'm surprised Emmett wasn't cut up more. Just how flush he was getting hit with some of those elbows.
And those like stomping side kicks to the knee.
Oh yeah, I think they're called oblique kicks or something like. Yeah.
Emmett was not into that.
No, he was getting pissed off by him.
Yeah, and it really, I mean, it kind of shut him down. Like, I don't know. It was close, but. I just think Lerone is a really smart fighter.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like him or not, like he is.
Yeah. Defensively sound guy. I mean, he's not a guy who's going to come out here and just knock your head off. But
really good takedown D too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
They got it right.
I feel like we spent probably too much time on this, but any last thoughts on this card?
It was all right. I mean, typical Apex card. You know,
this was one of the worst, man.
Yeah, it definitely was a little lackluster.
And by the way, last thing, rankings aren't updated yet, but I'm assuming Lerone will take Emmett's number 8. I think Lerone's a problem. This is a tough division, but like, I think he could be somebody to really make some noise here. But I don't know. Arnold Allen's going to be one spot ahead of him. I don't know if maybe that would make sense. Or Ortega. Has Ortega got one booked?
I thought he did. He has...
I'm sure we've talked about this in a previous show, but
thought he did have somebody.
Regardless, I mean, there's a lot that kind of has to play out at featherweight. Featherweight's busy right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys booked, so Lerone may be waiting a little bit for another one to see how things shake out ahead of him. Obviously, Yair at 5 is fighting Patricio Pitbull, so that'll have to play out too. But I like Lerone. I think he's a really smart fighter, good defensive fighter who is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, you ready to move on to some other events this weekend?
Let's get it.
All right, first up, PFL. This is on Thursday. We talked about this last week. Pretty interesting, like some decent fights. I've always kind of felt like, when they did the playoff format and all that stuff, I was excited to watch the card, then I'd watch them, and the fights kind of sucked sometimes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the fights. I feel like this one was actually okay. Like there was some good fights on here. We're not going to go through all of them, but I mean, Giannis Bakar, I mentioned him. He was on Tough. He got knocked out by Robert Valentin on Tough. He quit in between rounds on the stool. Something to do with his knee. He wasn't looking very good to begin with, so I don't know. Maybe it was the knee was really hurt. I'm not real sure, but he basically quit in between rounds. Gabriel Braga, he's been around PFL for a long time. He fought an alternate, came in, who is 8-1 with 8 submissions.
He got subbed.
But this guy had Braga in a deep choke, like deep, and was cranking on it as hard as he could. Braga got out, submitted him, all in the first round. So,
damn.
Pretty impressive by Braga. The most impressive performance on this card was Thad Jean. He was a pretty big underdog. I don't think he was originally supposed to be in the tournament. I could be wrong about that. But he fought Muhammad Berkamov, who has been a good PFL guy for a long time, Dagestani. And Thad Jean just slept him. I mean, or what was it? It was like a flurry, but Berkamov, he basically threw that lead hand out there and just went like this.
Oh,
just returned it to the hip and got clipped with a hook. I think it was a hook.
Yeah, that took to ground strikes.
Yeah, put it in but man, he just, like I said, just day one stuff, man. Shoot that hand out, right back to the chin. No, he didn't do that. Dropped it to his hip, got knocked out. But it was Thad Jean's from Florida. This was in Florida. The crowd was, he got a big pop from the crowd, and it was actually really sick. But Movlid Kabuleyev, he hadn't fought in a long time, but he literally was 21-0-1, former champion in PFL. He had that highlight reel knockout of Damon Jackson. He had a horrible first round.
Really?
He looked bad in the first round. He got hurt on the feet by the Canadian wrestler Jeremy Kennedy, and then kind of clawed his way back into it. It was somewhat controversial. I did think he won the last 2 rounds personally, but not the unbreakable, just untouchable guy we've seen in the past. At least not.
Actually looked human there.
Yeah, and again, first fight after a long layoff. We'll see, coming back. But Logan Storley is boring. He wins. D1 wrestler, obviously. Jesus Pinedo and Borix, they were kind of throwing down. Pinedo, he has won the PFL before, but if I remember right, when he came in his first season in the PFL, he was kind of a nobody. Nobody really thought he was going to ever do anything. Another Peruvian, and he knocks out Borix, and Borix is good too. And I don't know. Pinedo he's solid, man. He's a solid striker. And in the Jason Jackson fight was weird. Jason Jackson, he kind of boring too. Took him down. I'm trying to remember now. There was a foul. I cannot remember now. It was like an illegal knee or something, or elbow, back of the head. I think it was back of the head. Oh. He was like close to finishing him, punched him in the back of the head a bunch of times. Punched Korshkov in the back of the head. And then God, I watched so many fights this weekend. I'm kind of blanking on everything that happened in this one. But point is, Jason Jackson ended up submitting Korshkov, and it was, if I remember right, they had there was another foul, and then they broke it, and it's like almost as soon as they restarted, like 10 seconds later, he was submitting him. So I don't know. I don't like Jason Jackson really. He's kind of annoying. but he beats former Bellator champ Andrei Korshkov, and so we'll see. The bracket, I don't remember it off the top of my head who's fighting who next, but I do remember we said that these are probably the two best weight classes in PFL, and we're going to talk about another PFL card later. But I feel like, yeah, these two, welterweight and featherweight, may be the most interesting ones. Did you watch any of that?
I caught clips of it and everything, but I didn't get a chance to watch anything like actual full fights of it.
It was all right. Again, just this not like a UFC pay-per-view vibe by any means, but Invicta they had an event as well in Oklahoma. Alessandro Ferreira, she retains her title. She's the atomweight champ. She wins a unanimous decision, keeps the belt. Other than that, this was kind of a viral clip of Jamie Edenden. She knocked the shit out of this Jackie Catalina girl, and the clip was going around social media and stuff. And the famously, I think it's TJ DeSantis, I think is his name, the commentator. Well, Julie Kedzie, I think it was Kedzie. She said, "Oh, hits her with the right hand, knocks her out." And DeSantis like corrects her and he says, "Check left hook." And then Kedzie says, Yeah, check left hook. And it was a right hand. Like they were saying the wrong punch the whole time. But it was pretty brutal. She knocked her out cold. And yeah, they were just calling it the wrong punch and they couldn't decide what it was. But and then Emily Ducote, she was in the UFC. I thought she should still be in the UFC, but she kind of got robbed and then cut. She won first round TKO as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. One fight night, 30. This, I usually like going bottom to top, but this Roman Kriklia, heavyweight champ out of Ukraine. He's had the belt for a long time. He is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
he's huge, and he's not like a fat guy. He's how tall is he? 6'7", and like lean as can be.
Yeah, he's a giant.
He fights this Lyndon Knowles guy who has a twirly mustache. He had pink hair and pink shorts. Chubby dude, British dude. He had Haggerty's, the big fat coach, in his corner too. So he trains out of a good gym at least. But he got dropped, 10 count. Immediately got knocked out. Like, gosh. He got dropped and he kind of tripped. They didn't call the second one a knockdown. As soon as he stood up, ref started it. 1-2, knocks out. Like fell through the ropes and stuff. Just gets killed by this Ukrainian
I
guy.
watched the clip of it and it's just that poor bastard.
I don't know a ton about the one championship divisions as a whole, but I'm assuming they're running out of people.
Yeah,
for this guy to kill.
Just killing everybody.
Regan Ursel wins the trilogy against Alexis Nicolau. He's French, so there's like the S's.
Yeah.
Alexei Nikolai, or however they pronounce it. This was a trilogy. They were one apiece. Ursel's only loss was to Nikolai. Only problem here, Ursel failed. He was going to make weight, I think, but he failed the hydration stuff. So the only person eligible to win this belt was Nikolai, and he lost. Wow. Now it's vacant.
Now, yeah, you got the whole, what do you call it, Figueiredo thing going on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's vacant still. Ursel is still the Muay Thai champ at welterweight, but now he's not the kickboxing champ, even though he won in the title fight. So weird deal. Nico Carrillo, this guy's good. I didn't know much about him. He's like from Scotland, I think. He's really good, and he beat Sidachai, who's kind of a legend.
Mm-hmm.
TKO'd him.
Liver punch. Huh?
Yeah, nasty. And then Ace of Ten Pal, I like this guy a lot too. Believe it or not, he's actually American with a name like that.
Ace of Ten Pal.
He's American. He's awesome. TKO in the third round. We don't have to go through all these, but this guy here, Bokong Mawson Yanni. Look at his height.
5'1".
5'1". And
Wow.
he is built like an actual, I don't know what the right term is nowadays, but like he looks like a dwarf. Like he has short little legs. And, you know, he's pretty good, honestly. Like he lost his fight to a 12-0, like Uzbek, I think. Sanzar Zakharov wins a decision and looked good. But this little guy is actually decent. He just is tiny. He had nothing for him. By the way, last thing I'll say about this one card. One championship. Stop having MMA fights in a fucking ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sick of Herb Dean stopping him, moving him to the middle. This guy, Bo Kong, the 5'1" guy, great, phenomenal sprawls, but he would literally be back, his back would be against the fence or against the ropes. A couple times he sprawled like out of the ropes. Like his legs went through the ropes and was outside the ropes.
Yeah.
And they'd have to stop it and all this crap.
Doesn't make sense.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. Good card, but stop doing MMA fights in rings. And then last but not least, we've said on this show a few times that we never hear anything about Glory Kickboxing.
Yeah.
And that we don't know we didn't even know it was still around. So I went out and did some research to try to catch up on what's going on in Glory. And there happened to be an event this Saturday that I bought the pay-per-view. I watched the whole thing. And for those of you who don't know, there's 16 fights on this card. All of them were heavyweights, and it was all the first round fights of a 32-man heavyweight tournament.
It's so crazy that nobody heard about this. And I think Glory's just okay with it because they have such a following over there.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't need anybody else.
I'm sure they got a big fan base in Europe, and this was in the Netherlands, and obviously that's like a kickboxing hub. But yeah, it's like I don't see any sponsored ads on my Instagram about
nothing.
Last heavyweight standing, Glory 99. I mean, it was awesome. I watch every fight. It was great. But yeah, I'm gonna start hearing about it now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But I mean, just from what you sent me and what I saw, I mean, it was some brutal knockouts.
It was awesome. And like I mentioned to you, what I liked about it a lot, apparently the first round matchups were random, which I think is cool. You know, 32-man pool, randomize the matchups. We're not PFL and we're picking the bracket the way we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
The winners of all these fights then would draw a random ball. The announcer would, because they had gloves on, they couldn't reach in the thing.
Yeah.
But the announcer guy would a random ball, and that's where they're seated, 1 through 16 for the second round. So this George guy right here, by the way, who's 6'9", and actually apparently has worked as a bouncer or like a bodyguard for Takashi 6'9", is what it said.
Really?
Literally said that. What's his name? Colin George out of Suriname. This whole random draw thing, he actually literally is matched up against like his buddy in the next round.
Oh shit.
Big Sexy. We'll talk about Big Sexy too. But yeah, they basically like that's like the one guy that Big Sexy said he was not wanting to fight yet. Maybe if they fought in the finals, they would want to do it. That's who he gets to fight.
Damn.
But I like it. I like it random. I don't want we know you can beat this guy or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's cool, but that sucks for them, being friends. Be cool in the finals, but damn. That guy's hideous.
Yeah. I'm not going to go through everybody, but we'll touch on a few guys. So there's twins, the Gashi twins. They both were on this card. I thought this one here, what's his name? Asdrin. I thought he lost. They gave him the win. Luckily for them, they didn't draw the same. Like one number apart. They're not fighting each other. And they're not even in, they have the bracket into groups, A, B, C, D. It's different groups. And they're basically now, group A is basically a 4-man tournament, one night. And then B's 4-man tournament, one night, C, D. And so basically we got 4 one-night tournaments, and then the winners move on to the final four, basically.
So there's a chance that the twins could fight.
They could. Luckily, one's in Group C, one's in Group B.
So
But if they win,
fuck, dude.
yeah, that's what's scary. I didn't think either of them were that incredible, so I don't see that happening. But yeah, we talked about Colin George. He's 6'9". He looked really good. Dude, this is my guy here. We talk about. We've mentioned Bilal Muhammad looks like the falafel off Sausage Party. I think this guy's uncanny. Iraj Azipor out of Iran looks like the falafel from Sausage Party. Yeah, 69-7, 27 KOs. He's awesome. He's not the most technical guy in the world. He fought this Farkas guy out of Italy. I think it was out of Italy. Yuri Farkas. He looked pretty good too. I think they both were solid. But my guy Iraj just came forward and just slugged. And it was awesome. He dropped him with a spinning back fist.
Yep.
And put him away.
It was gnarly.
It was sick. I love this guy. Unfortunately, I think the next guy we'll talk about, I also loved. Yes. The Romanian tank is awesome. Ionuț, I'm messing that up probably. The Romanian tank, he weighed, I don't know what it was like. He weighed like 300 pounds. Literally.
Dude.
And he's good.
Yeah.
Like, he's really good. And he wins his fight. It was a rematch actually against this Kapanik guy from Turkey. He knocks him out again. It was actually, I think the low kicks are what did it.
Mm-hmm.
He was killing his leg, and coming into the second round, the Kapanik guy stood up and like stumbled, and then his corner threw in the towel. They were like, he can't walk. So the Romanian tank's awesome. Unfortunately, he drew my guy Iraj.
Oh,
they're fighting each other next.
Oh, damn.
Which sucks. I was like, I want them two to fight in the finals. I don't care about Colin George and the other guy. But that's gonna be awesome. I'm like, if you can't tell, I love this. Yeah, I'm excited about
cool.
this. The next everybody's next fight, the round of 16, is going to be back-to-back nights, Friday, Saturday.
Oh damn!
I'm pretty sure it's the Group A and B one-night tournament on Friday, the Group C and D one-night tournament Saturday, back-to-back days. This Nikita, 21 years old. This kid, shortest guy in the tournament.
He does not look 21.
Yeah, that's I am 12 type deal.
Yeah.
Youngest in the tournament, shortest in the tournament. I thought he lost. He fought this guy out of Bosnia who was pretty solid too. Southpaw, really good jab. Not a lot of jabbing in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
This Krinjic had a good jab. The thing that lost this fight for Krinjic is they ruled. He threw a low kick. He got kind of clipped on the top of the head off those low kick. When he was returning his leg back, he like stumbled on his own foot. At the same time as getting punched, they ruled it a knockdown.
Oh,
and for those, and it was one round apiece going into that third. And for those who don't know, kickboxing, the rule set basically, if you get knocked down, a point gets taken away from the other guy automatically.
Oh, okay.
Like if you knock down your opponent, they get a point taken away on the scorecards automatically. So basically, in order to win the round, then you'd have to like 10-8 him.
Yeah. You'd have to knock him down and then or a couple times
so basically, and I thought Krinjic take the knockdown out of it. I thought he won the third, but because of the knockdown, the 21-year-old won. It's okay. I like him too. He just walk you down. He's talking shit, throwing down. It was fun, but
I'm sad I missed it. I'm sad
awesome.
I missed the whole card.
Some of the main card fights kind of sucked a little bit. This Landouny guy out of France, he was good. He knocked out a big 6'7" Ukrainian. Just destroyed him. He dropped him like 3 times. Now, we'll move on. But I got this guy here, Nabil Kotchab. Heaviest guy in the tournament.
Oh my god.
355 pounds this guy weighed in at.
I remember the tank.
The tank. He's like 6'2", I think. 188 meters, whatever that is. I think he's 6'2". He's 24 years old, 355 pounds. Close fight against this guy, this Milos Vechikanen. I don't know. Close fight. The tank's not real technical.
Yeah.
He just walks forward, throws, got beat up a little bit. He loses, unfortunately. But yeah, he was 355 pounds. Speaking of big,
so wild.
Big sexy. Nico, I think it's Nico Pereira Horta. Nico Horta.
Wow, what a
big sexy
body.
out of Cape Verde. I think he was like kind of a big dog, like underdog in this, against Opachchik from Serbia. Big sexy knocked him out.
Wow.
I don't think Big Sexy was even supposed to be in this tournament originally.
Why is his stance like that? That picture, his ass is kind of poked out.
Because he's awesome? I mean, I don't know what do you
He
mean.
is Big Sexy. He is Big Sexy.
He gets this guy backed up at the corner and just shoots the right hand down the pipe and knocks him out cold. And this dude, this Opachchik guy, was like literally, you probably saw it in the clip.
Mm-hmm.
He was like trying to get up, but his eyes were like flickering and he like couldn't move. Like he was like trying to stand up and his body like wouldn't let him.
Yeah, his mind was like get up, but his brain was literally shut off. Like,
It was crazy.
Shut off his body. That was crazy.
Big Sexy wins. This is who I was talking about that was buddies with Colin George. Unfortunately, they drew the 1 and the 2. They're fighting each other.
Damn.
But Big Sexy's awesome. The only guy I'd ever heard of before it was Benjamin Adekbui. He's been if you're a Glory fan, you know this guy. He's been around forever. He's like 40 years old now. He got killed. He got completely dominated by this Nigerian guy. What are they called? They called Tariq Osari. They call him Cookie Osari or Osaro. He was good. Now the 355, that was the heaviest guy. This was the lightest guy, and this guy has fought Rico Verhoeven, I think, twice.
Okay.
Bahram Rajarzada. He was like 214 pounds. He was like the lightest guy.
70 fucking wins.
He's really good, like really explosive. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in speed and explosivity. Might have fought the worst guy in the tournament, this Duez guy. He looked like a homeless drunk guy, honestly.
Nice.
But Rajab Zada is awesome. He's really good. And in the main event, Jamal bin Sadiq, who has been around Glory for a very long time, wins, beats a guy with really sick tattoos. That's it. That was the main event. I know I spent a long time on that, but this card was awesome.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm bummed I missed it.
We need to watch the next round,
I'd
the
be
Friday
down.
and the Saturday. I don't know when it is exactly, but I think it's Glory 100. It's like a 2-day event, both Glory 100.
Oh.
So, yeah. So if you listener, if you don't know anything about Glory Kickboxing or who any of these guys are, you probably shut this off by now. But if you made it to this point, you need to watch this stuff. You'd have to probably still pay for it, but honestly, go back and watch this card if you can afford to, because it was awesome, and you'll know what I'm talking about at that point.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I feel like I talked a lot. I'm gonna let you talk a little bit in this this news segment if you're ready to get to it.
I'm down.
News team, assemble!
Right. Some news. We got a whole lot, mainly, like you said, John.
By the way,
just fight announcements.
Before we start, I think I got all these in order. I think I got them all. I tried to put them in chronological order.
Yeah.
We're going to start with all the new fight bookings, and then we got a few things at the end, but go ahead.
Okay, we got looks like for UFC 314 a matchup, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes.
Now, obviously, I think most people that would hear this would already know that this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I put this on here is because, and this is Miami, this is this weekend's card,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this literally was announced, like added to this card like 5 days ago. like Monday or something, Tuesday.
Huh.
So it's really short notice for both these guys. I don't know.
It's kind of weird. Maybe they were looking for some help on the card and probably told Krylov, "Hey, get your ass out there."
I wonder. I kind of feel like this may have been booked already. They just moved it up.
I think it might be something like that.
So we're going to talk about this later, but this was one that I just wanted to say, like, this was added super late.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
we're going to this main event here in Kansas City, a new main event since Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree got moved. Ian Gary versus Carlos Praches.
It's a great consolation prize.
Yes, I am so excited that we're going to be there for that. Honestly, respect Ian Gary that he's taking this fight.
Yeah.
Going to fight a killer in Carlos Praches, who, if you're not a fan of Carlos, the guy is ripping cigs and beating ass. That's what he does. And Ian Gary is, obviously coming off the loss, but he made Shavkat look human. And
he's fighting all the way down to number 13 here. He's 7, and he's fighting the 13 guy on short notice.
And I respect that shit. I like that shit. The guys that are willing to fight anybody they're thrown at.
Yep.
I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a real fun one. I think I was excited for Jamal Hill and Khalil Roundtree, but I think this is great. I think the UFC is doing a good job with. That's going to be it. That's going to be a banger. At least I hope it is. I hope it's not one of those where we expect a banger and it's a snooze fest. But
that's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah,
because I think Ian Gary might pull out the singlet in this one.
Very possible, because
we've seen that with, like, when he fought MVP. Maybe
we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited for that one. Moving on, another one added to UFC KC. This one will be a fun one. We got Damon Blackshear versus is it Haley or Hailey? Hailey Alatang.
It's like Zhang Weili Zhang. Like it's some says Alatang Hailey, one word. Some Haley Alatang. I don't know, so whatever. We're big Damon Blackshear fans here.
Yeah,
I like Damon Blackshear a lot. So I'm stoked that he's on the card.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun. I mean, I'm excited, dude. It's here coming up real soon. So
I looked at the main card. We don't have to go through it right now, but I looked at it the other day and I was like, this is good. Like, it's a good card.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for it. Moving on from that one, we've got a big one here for UFC 315 in Montreal. Joel Alvarez versus Benoit Saint Denis.
Saint Denis, the Frenchie fighting in French Canada.
Yep.
But still, like, that crowd's probably going to pop pretty big for him.
This one is scary.
This is going to be crazy.
Yeah. This one is someone's going to sleep.
Yeah.
And I hope, because I like both of them, but I obviously love the God of War. I hope he gets back on track. But he's fighting a guy, especially the way Saint Denis fights.
Alvarez is dangerous.
Yes, that can put you away. And I hope Saint Denis gets back on track. I wish they both would win and just have a good time.
I'm on the opposite end of you on this one. I'm rooting for Alvarez personally, but
yeah, I like them both. Saint Denis has fought some killers as of late. He did not look good against Renato Moicano the last time.
No.
But that one will be a fun one to watch. Someone's going to sleep. I'd be surprised if
Alvarez,
decision.
22 wins, 22 finishes.
Yeah.
17 submissions. Now, and that's, by the way, that's, for those who don't know, that's not like he debuted 2 fights ago in the UFC. He just beat up all the regional scene guys. He's been in the UFC. This is his 10th fight.
Yeah.
And he's still, all 7 of his wins are finishes. And he's been TKO'd twice. He's lost 1 decision, never been subbed. These guys, they're kind of similar, honestly, like, not frame-wise, like Alvarez is super tall, but like both dangerous strikers and both dangerous submission guys too. Like, Alvarez can knock you out, Saint Denis can knock you out, and they can both submit you too. Like,
that one's gonna be exciting. If that makes it to the judges, I'd be shocked. Somebody's getting finished.
Yeah. That's low-key banger of the year right there.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, on to
what is
high-key shitter.
Speaking of high-key shitter.
So we've already said this, but like we've already mentioned this on the show, but I guess maybe the card it's on is official now.
Yeah,
maybe.
that was a weird one. I mean, we're talking about UFC Vegas 106, May 17th. Paul, the Bear Jew Craig versus Adolfo Bellato.
Yeah. Paul going back up to light heavyweight.
Yeah. Paul's just trying to find something here.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one, to me, is just, yeah.
I mean, I could see Bellato fighting dumb enough to get submitted.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't know if I see it. I don't know if I would pick that to be the case, but I think Bellato could fall into
and
Paul's
we've
trap.
seen it happen with Paul. People just succumb to just the fight IQ leaves them, and then all of a sudden they're in a triangle or getting their arm ripped off or something because Paul's dangerous when it comes off his back. So that one, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's we'll see, and I'm definitely be watching it.
Yeah.
Moving on. This one is a weird matchup. UFC is. It's a UFC fight night. UFC is bringing in these Bellator guys.
Yeah.
And you don't get a warm up fight. You don't get nothing. You're getting number 5 in the world.
Mm-hmm.
In the division. And we've got Mozar Evloev versus Aaron Pico making his debut.
This was I just added this to the doc today. Like I literally just saw it today, and we've been watching this shit for so long that things don't really like surprise us usually.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we hear a little bit about it before they actually book it. This one shocked me.
Yeah.
I could not believe when I saw this that this was happening.
Yeah, Evloev obviously number 5 in the world right now. This is Aaron Pico's been doing damn thing.
4.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 in the world. Aaron Pico, he had his first stint a while back in the UFC. It didn't go well. It was Pico. He was in the UFC.
I don't think he was.
Oh, I could have swore he was in the UFC.
He was in. I mean, he had Bellator.
I'm almost certain. I could have swore he had like a stint. Oh no, I'm thinking early Bellator. He struggled early Bellator. That's what it is.
Yeah. And he lost his first pro fight. He was like a big freestyle wrestling guy.
Yeah, he was supposed to. That's my bad. I messed up. He was Bellator. He was supposed to be like the next best thing, and of course he was super young, super green, and he lost a couple fights where he probably shouldn't.
Yeah, but and then now that I'm looking at it though, I forgot who he lost to. Henry Corrales and Borix, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
They're not like pussies.
No. But the hype he had around him is what killed him. And then he went on a run and has looked great. Ended up getting that Henry Corrales win the next time he fought. I think he was just young, green, and now he grew into himself. He's in his prime.
He had a lot of pressure too. I mean,
true. Yeah, when you get that kind of hype around you, sometimes you crumble, and he kind of did at first. But that's going to be a fun fight. He's getting an absolute killer. And Evloev, who loves to grapple, and the UFC, just like you said before, I think we were talking off air, is not willing to give the new Bellator guys.
They're basically like, oh, you were built by somebody else, so we're not going to do you any favors. Like, we're not going to try to build you here.
Yeah, you've already been built, so you're going to fight the best.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'm excited for that one. I like Pico a lot. Evloev, him and I are not on the best of terms in the sense of fighting styles, but that'll be fun to watch.
I think Pico. I mean, I don't really have a great gauge on like what Pico's been looking like recently, but from what I know, Evloev can get hit. Like I've seen in person and at that Phoenix card I went to, him get hurt bad in the 3rd round by Hakeem Dawodu.
Yeah.
Pico's like a Golden Gloves boxer and a high level freestyle wrestler. This may be a tough one for fucking Evloev.
Yeah. I think it'll be tough in the sense. I mean, it's not necessarily that short notice or anything like that. So they're gonna have time to train. I would be worried if it was like a short notice. But more worried for Evloev.
May 17th. I mean, over a month.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm pretty sure as of now, this is in the Apex. which is insane to me.
Yeah,
That fight is an Apex fight, but
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe they find an arena. I don't know. It's pretty short notice to be able to move it.
Yeah,
but
get something booked. Moving on from that, UFC Vegas.
Biggest one of them all right here.
Yeah, got Ketlin Vieira versus Macy. Excuse me, Chasson.
Physically big for girls.
Physically,
they are huge.
That one will be all right. It's again, I'm not super excited or blown away by it. It's whatever.
I've kind of become a Chasson fan. I think a little bit.
Yeah,
because I thought she had zero chance of ever even winning a fight in the UFC. She's an Ultimate Fighter chick.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like her on the show, but she's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's gotten pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's cool seeing them grow and get better over time, but it's yeah, I'm gonna watch it and all that. But moving on, announced we've got Merab versus O'Malley 2, UFC 316 in Newark. I'm excited for this one. Obviously, the first one didn't go Sean's way. Sean's been saying he's
not jerking it anymore.
Yeah, he hasn't been. What is he saying? Jaying the peen or the?
Yeah,
I think
no
it's
social media.
No social media. He's a new person. He's the healthiest he's felt since like 2022 or something like that.
A big risk for him. I
feel like very. He says, I mean, hopefully, he can stay healthy throughout the whole camp and everything, but he feels great. He said that he had issues. He wasn't making excuses. He called Merab a killer and all that. Gave him his flowers and all that. But I don't know, I'm excited for that one because that one was obviously Merab did his thing, but Sean at the end did hurt Merab.
I think last second. I'm a big Merab fan, and I thought he won the first fight, but I think I may be picking Sean in the second one.
Sean, I don't know. That obviously Merab is an actual machine. That's why he's called the Machine. Yeah. But he did get hurt at the end. With that liver kick, kind of started to shut him off a little bit, and he ran away. I mean, obviously you got hurt. You try not to get hit again, but that'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
I feel, and by the way, that's in Newark, so that might be a pro Merab crowd, maybe.
Yeah,
but I think they both looked shitty. Like they both didn't have a great performance. Mm-hmm. I think Sean probably more so. Like he just didn't let it go. But I guess I don't know. Was the gap of how bad they both performed close, or was Merab just way better? I don't know. Like where we're gonna end up.
Yeah. We'll find out. I'm excited for it. Moving also on the same card, announced we got Spivak versus
Gatziev.
Gatziev, the best bot in the game.
This is another one that we've mentioned before, but they moved it to UFC 316. It was on like some Vegas fight night thing. They moved it. Not really an important one, although Gatziev may be the real deal.
He may. I mean, it is battle of the bods.
Yeah.
In this fight. But Gatziev gets shit on a lot just for the way he looks and stuff like that. But he might be, like you said, the real deal. He's putting some wins together. Yep. So definitely that'll be fun to watch. Next one after that, UFC Atlanta, June 14th. We've got Edmund Shabazian versus Petrosky.
I don't like either of them.
Yeah, so. I'm not not necessarily high on either one, but I mean those were just announced, so that'll be fun to watch that card. Going on from that, the one that we're going to see in KC.
So not in KC.
Yeah, not in KC. We just said go to Azerbaijan. Jamal Hill versus Khalil Roundtree was moved over to June 21st. Obviously, that one we were excited to see, got replaced, but we'll still be watching it. That'll be a fun one. A new one coming up also, Brandon Royval versus Manel Kopp, UFC 317, June 28th.
This was booked not that long ago, right?
I think so. UFC's been doing a lot of shuffling around here lately, so I think they looked at a couple cards, maybe been hearing some people bitch about some of the cards. So
I think it was supposed to be Royval and Kopp, and I think that's the one that Bruno Silva stepped in, and Kopp just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I think that might have been it, or maybe it was the one after. I don't know, but this was originally booked a while back. But I think this makes sense. I mean, from a rankings perspective, because we will talk about here in a minute. Also on this card, I guess we'll just go ahead and say it. Pantoja, Kai Kara France 2, apparently in the works for the same card. What's going on with this fight? I mean,
I don't know. We keep hearing rumblings, and then it's booked, and then it's moved. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if there's the UFC doesn't know what to do with it right now.
Yeah, and they need to figure it out because, which I guess they will. We'll settle it right here. Whoever wins the title fight is probably going to fight the winner of Royval and Cobb. I mean, that's on the same card. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Cobb, as much as I'm not a big fan of him, I think he has earned a title shot probably right now.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with what the rankings look like now. Everybody's fought everybody up there, or at least fought the champ. He's looked good his last fights, even though he pokes people in the eye. But
yeah, it was Almabayev that stepped in for Royval, I think.
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think he's probably due for a title shot.
And again, not a big fan of him, but he has taken the long road to get there.
For sure.
He's been in the UFC for quite a while. Obviously debuted against Pantoja, first UFC fight. So, I don't know. Obviously, winner of that one, Royval Cobb, as long as there's no crazy unforeseen circumstances with the main event of that card.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be getting the title shot, probably.
Definitely. Another one for UFC 317, International Fight Week. We got Costa versus Kopylov.
Paulo Costa I mentioned this the other day, but he's down to number 12.
Yeah, which it's been a hell of a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Ever since just losing to Izzy, just going down and, really hasn't done much.
His last fight was Sean, right?
Yeah.
So how the hell is he number 12? Just because it's just not active?
Was it Sean? Was it? I think it was Sean.
So he fought the guy who literally just fought for the belt, and he's number 12. I guess when everyone else around you is doing things and you're not, they'll drop you in the rankings, which I think is probably what happened here. But yeah, Whitaker and Sean.
Yeah, and you're number 12.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Costa, he's got all the potential in the world. He's bodied the fuck up, obviously, but I don't know. And now they're going to throw another killer at him in Kopylov. And he may be 3 straight L's in a row, especially if his last 2 fights, he hasn't come out and looked great. Like he just
Costa.
Yeah, Costa hasn't. He hasn't. It's been bad, And then also, that one will be fun. I'm excited for that. Another one here we're looking at. It's targeted. They're trying to get it there and move to 317. Kamaru Usman and Joaquin Buckley looking to throw down. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah.
That'll be that one kind of gets me a little going.
I think Buckley probably beats him up.
Maybe he Usman though, he's come out and he's obviously got a nice little layoff here.
Yeah.
Usman's still a motherfucker.
Yeah, I guess I just keep thinking at some point with the layoffs and him being old and he can't walk upstairs that he's just going to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
And be terrible, but then he just isn't.
Yeah, and maybe the layoffs have been helping. Buckley has looked great his last few fights. Definitely going to be the more athletic guy moving around, more explosive guy. But Usman has underrated striking, got power, obviously can wrestle.
I think Buckley's kind of, again, not a fan of his, but I think he's kind of turned me into a believer a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, I agree. Just the way he's looked, and he's definitely he's polished himself a little bit better.
Tough weight class, though.
Exactly, yeah. That weight class is murderer's row. So, I don't know. We'll see.
My balls was hot. I understand.
Speaking of my balls was hot. We've got one Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, going for UFC Nashville July 12th, going against Taliesin Teixeira. The Black Beast. Everybody loves watching the Black Beast.
Teixeira, Now we talked about like heavyweight's shallow as hell.
Yes.
But debut against Junior Toffa, Justin Toffa, not Junior, and then second fight, Derek Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
They really believe in this guy.
Agreed. I mean, the guy's a giant. The guy's got power for days. Sneaky on the ground for as big as he is.
Yeah.
Got super long legs. It's good off his back. I love the Black Beast, but this could be trouble.
Yeah.
This is definitely a dangerous fight for him.
We've seen, Rodrigo Nascimento, like we've seen Derek fight these guys and beat them. Kind of the up and comer, especially Brazilians. It seems like he beats the up and coming Brazilians every other fight. But I think Teixeira is good.
Yes.
This is different. Maybe we'll see. But
yeah, that one's that one's tough. That one's scary for the Black Beast. I'd love to see him get a win, but this Teixeira guy's a killer.
This one's not a big news story, but we got to shout out our guy.
Hey, you know I got the juice, man.
Julius Walker, our boy, he said on social media that he wants on that UFC Nashville card alongside the Black Beast, Dallas Teixeira. So
yeah, go get your bread, man. I mean, I've seen you just blowing up social media. You're working at it. It looks like you're trying to perfect your craft here, man. So you're on the card. We're watching it.
When was Seattle was what? February?
Yeah, a month ago. A couple months ago now.
February to July. I mean, that makes sense. I think that's kind of exactly the amount of time that UFC fighters seem to take in between fights. So let's go. Let's get Julius on UFC Nashville. No idea who he would fight. Obviously, it would be a unranked light heavyweight, and I don't have all those guys memorized off the top of my head. Yeah. But let's get him on there.
Yep. I would be excited for that one. So here, another one, UFC Abu Dhabi main event, July 26th. There looks like they're trying to get something going with Marvin Vettori and Shara Magomedov.
Shara Bullet. We mentioned this the other day. They were tweeting at each other. Obviously, Shara can't fight in the U.S. He can't see out of one eye. Therefore, he's going to fight in Abu Dhabi, or they're trying to get him on this Abu Dhabi card, and they want to do a main event with Vettori. I mean, you could say, well, Shara just lost. How is he going to be a main event? Well, they can do that with him in that part of the world.
Yeah,
he can just main event all the time.
Yeah,
so.
It just doesn't matter. That one, that'll be fun. Vittori, we know where he's going to be. He's going to be a probably a gatekeeper, early gatekeeper for guys. Shara's just probably going to try and not get taken down in that fight. So
run.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know how that one goes, and I don't really know who 5-round helps. Maybe Vettori, but I don't even.
Yeah, I mean Vittori's been there, done that with the 5 rounds and everything.
I could just see this looking like it's going to look like Vettori has like a stick and it's like a string and it's got like a hot dog on it or something, and he's just chasing that hot dog around the whole time, and it's on a string, so he's never going to get to it. Yep. That's going to be this probably. Mm-hmm. He's just going to be chasing Shara all over the place.
Yeah, because Shara's not going to want to get taken down,
and Vittori's not smart enough to like be like, oh, he's doing this, so I'm going to do this now. I'm going to adjust.
He does. He's allergic to adjustments.
Yeah. So that's it for the fight bookings. Kinda.
Yeah.
Apparently, on this past UFC card, the Spanish broadcast leaked Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira officially signed. So I don't know if you call that a fight announcement, but apparently they leaked it.
Yeah, if it's leaked, damn.
Oops.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yes.
That's a hell of a fight.
If it's not Islam, it needs to be Oliveira.
Yeah, it has to be.
For Ilia.
Yeah, I mean, especially Islam says, oh, I'm not going to fight him right off the bat. He's been the champ. I get it, but I wish he would just fight whoever. But
yeah,
I guess he's earned the right to pick and choose who he wants to fight.
He's earned the right to say that Ilia hasn't earned the right to fight him.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole again, but I just can't. I'm like, Islam. He's earned it.
Yeah.
He's done enough.
Yeah. I think so. I agree with you. I think so too.
This one's weird right here. That in conjunction with, I guess with Ilya being booked probably against Charles Oliveira, Islam has kind of publicly said that he wants to wait and see what happens with Bilal and Jack Della.
If Jack wins, he moves up.
Yeah, which is interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I guess he's kind of been talking about going up when Leon was a champ and stuff, but I don't know if your buddies with Bilal and Bilal loses. I guess they're not going to give Bilal an immediate rematch. I guess so. You don't really have to worry about that, but I don't know.
True, but I mean, if he does move up and becomes champ and Bilal wins again,
then they got to fight each other.
They're going to fight each other, but you train together, you're friends.
That's
That's the whole point of you not moving up earlier was you didn't want to fight him.
And we've seen guys in the past, DC and Kane, and these they just stay out of the whole weight class like completely until
one of the
Kane's
other leaves
gone or whatever. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, that'll be a.
I hope they fight each other.
Yeah,
I hope they have to.
Yeah, and I hope
Bilal beats him.
Oh, I want Islam to beat Bilal.
I think Bilal probably would beat him.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think Bilal's going to beat Jack Della, first of all. So I don't think it's going to matter.
I could see that. I mean, Bilal's going to be the favorite in that fight.
Gilbert was beating Jack Della.
Yeah.
And he got kicked.
But he found a way.
Yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to look like Torres Finney against Valentin there, I think.
Probably.
Big story here.
Huge, actually. Everybody sit down before we say this. BKFC signs superstar Jessica Eye.
Evil Eye.
You
remember what she did to Valentina's foot? Valentina's foot has never been the same.
No, never.
Jessica Eye looks old.
Yeah.
And cracked out. She's not cracked out, but she looks like it.
Perfect recipe for BKFC.
It's true, yeah. Connor, he tweeted about it. She looks great. She's awesome. We've shared so many cards together. I'm like, she shared the card with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't share it with her, really. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about the women's divisions over there other than like Beck Rawlings and Taylor Starling and those the big names.
What's that? The one champ there. She beat Paige Van Zandt.
You would know better.
Her debut.
Britton Hart.
Yeah, Britton Hart. Then the chick she lost to, the Brazilian there.
Was that Christine Ferreira or whatever?
Yeah, Ferreira, whatever it is, yeah.
So is that all the same weight class as this? I don't know.
I have no idea. No clue. But good for Jessica Evil Eye.
Yeah.
Your eye's probably going to get fucked in the BKFC. Speaking of BKFC,
I don't know if this is like 100%, but Perry's tweeted about it and stuff, so I think it probably is.
Yeah, Mike Perry versus Brian Barberena.
No date on it yet.
That would be a fun one.
This one kind of surprised me too. I was like, Brian Barberena, like, of all the people in the world.
Yeah, I mean, not star power, but his fight style kind of gives me that vibes in the sense of, he'll just stand there and watch you.
He's always been a
brawler.
Eat punches, junkyard dog. Mike Perry's gonna kill him.
Oh, I agree. I think so too. I love how they're both excited, and Mike Perry said he's a joke.
You can't build a better matchup in a lab for Mike Perry than no defense, who's become chinny Brian Barberena.
Yeah,
it's perfect. Mike Perry's like, hell yeah.
Another one here, last one here for the news and everything. Fabricio Verdum withdraws from GFL after opponent Frank Mir pulls out. Frank Mir hurt himself.
It's weird. It's a weird one.
Was it his shoulder?
Don't know.
I think it was his shoulder or something. Got surgery. I think he said the reason why he was pulling out was something along the lines, and I could be fucking this up, but I'm pulling out because so the GFL has a chance for other guys to get in, and it almost just seems like
he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He's like, I'll fight legends or whatever, but I don't want to fight any new guy.
This is like Legends FC right here.
Yeah, you're in the Legends League.
Yeah.
So
now, as far as the he wants to give somebody else opportunity. My big problem initially with GFL, one of my big problems, was they have this big list of all these fighters that can be drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like all these guys, like it could be any of them, who knows? And then the only ones that get drafted are like the big names, like all the guys that I had never heard of that I was like, oh, I'm interested to see how this fighter is. Like, who is this person? None of them got drafted.
Yeah, well, they did that on purpose because they got to get their name out there.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they did it, but like, you know, he's saying he wants to give somebody else a shot. I mean, it'll probably end up being Jairzinho Rosenstruck or somebody that like isn't some up and comer.
No.
But
I don't know. I mean, I get what he's doing. He probably has a mindset, I only want to fight these legends. You know, I'm a legend myself. I want to fight a legend. I don't want to fight some newcomer and get either absolutely starched for, I don't know what they're getting paid. I'm sure they're getting paid a decent.
It's got to be a lot.
Yeah, I would assume to get all of these old guys to get out there, they're probably getting a nice chunk of change.
I wonder if Verdum just even like wants to fight at all.
Probably not. And the only thing that had him here, obviously, was probably Mir.
Yeah.
And then Mir, I think it was a shoulder surgery. He hurt himself probably training.
I think this is going to be, we're going to see a lot of this with GFL. This
Probably.
this guy out, this fight off,
Mm-hmm.
this guy, Dylan Dennis didn't show up.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of this going on, and it's going to suck.
Yeah, it's this cool little, concept, but with these older guys, they really, obviously the money's bringing them out, but also the name is what's bringing them out, and we're seeing firsthand what's happening. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yep. All right. So that's it for the news. You ready to move on to
Welcome to my
UFC 314?
I am ready.
All right. Let's move decent pace here. We're taking forever like always. Yeah, Miami UFC 314. Real quick. So there were some big fights that like were going to be on this at one point. Jeff Neal, Carlos Praches. We obviously know Praches, what he's doing now. Armin Saruki and Michael Chandler
There was talks about
potentially going to be on this. Pantoja, Kai Car France was initially on here. Gilbert Burns, Michael Morales. That one's been moved as well. That was all going to be on here at one point. As always, we got each of us have a prelim storyline, but some fighters on these prelims that aren't our storyline that are of note. I mean, Marco Tulio, I think he's a guy that has some potential. He's now dating Norma Dumont at this point, but
good for him.
I like him. I think he's good.
Mm-hmm.
He knocks people's heads off. I think the UFC likes him, therefore they give him Tresean Gore, who I think everybody that Tresean Gore fights, the UFC wants them to beat him. Typically. So Sumadarji, I know you're a Sumadarji guy.
Yep.
He gets a Ultimate Fighter guy who is not very good, Mitch Raposo.
Yeah, I mean, Sumadarji, I'm a fan. I like him.
Yeah.
Tough guy.
I think he should beat up Mitch Raposo.
I would agree.
You never know. It's crazy stuff happens, but I think he'll piece him up on the feet probably. Cedric Dumas, Michael Oleg-Zaychuk. I've always been a Lord Michal guy. I know he's not that great. He gets finished a lot.
Yeah.
Dumas, I didn't believe in Dumas at all originally, but he's pretty solid too now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think that one will be fun. That one really can go either way depending on what kind of Oleg-Zaychuk we get. And Dumas usually comes out, I mean, ready.
Yeah.
So he's one's going to be a fun one.
Lord Michal is definitely more talented. But I think Dumas is a little bit more of a fighter. Like he'll scrap.
For sure.
The damage, Darren Elkins, I don't. It makes me uncomfortable thinking about this guy fighting still. He's not right.
Sustained a lot of damage.
And then Julian Erosa, he's been put away pretty ugly fashion a few times as well. Chase Hooper, Jim Miller.
Yeah, that's
oh, sorry, that's your.
That's my prelim storyline. I got that one. That one's fun.
I guess. Well, so okay, Verna and Yan Zhaonan. That's a big one at strawweight. But I guess we'll go ahead and I'll let you go on your prelim storyline.
Yeah. No. Prelim storyline is Chase Hooper, Jim Miller, old versus new. Chase Hooper, I mean, really, or I should say Jim Miller, been around, I mean, for a hot fucking minute.
Like the longest
Yeah.
of anybody.
He's, obviously 38-18, 27-17 in the UFC. One no contest. Obviously, he's a beloved vet. Everybody loves Jim Miller. The guy can crack. Will stand and bang with you, but he's known for being absolutely dangerous on the ground. He's fought anybody and their mom. Beat a lot of good names, lost to a lot of killers. That's a lot of subs.
21 submission wins.
Yeah, that's a whole shitload of them.
13 in the UFC.
Yeah. He's still doing the damn thing, even though he's 40, I think 41 years old. He still looked good in his last few fights. Obviously, the last one where he didn't look too great, where I think speed kind of killed him, was against King Green, UFC 300.
Yeah.
But he's been fighting. He's literally fought UFC 100, 200, and 300. I mean, we've never seen that. So he's still doing. He has talked. He's ready to move on. He wants to retire at 50 fights. Dana has agreed with him that as soon as he gets to 50, win or loss, hard stop.
What are we at? 47? 48?
Yeah.
It's 48.
This is was it 48?
Or well,
this is 46.
no, this is like
47.
This is like 50 something. 38-18 and 1 no contest.
50 fights in the UFC.
Oh, okay. So 30.
I think he's at 46 or
44. I think, right? 27-17.
30, 44.
45 with the
45,
no contest.
yeah. So, yeah,
46.
this will be 46.
Yeah.
He's already, I mean, he knows this is it. This is doesn't matter win or loss, he's going to get 50 fights. Unless something drastic, one fight where he just gets absolutely obliterated. But I don't think they're going to put him against, even though he would be game for it.
And they do that to everybody too.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll put him against absolute just killers.
He may be the one guy that they respect too much for that.
Yeah. Maybe. And Dana did come out and say that they both agreed 50 fights and hard stop, and he's ready to go off and do, right off into the sunset, great career, legend, do his thing. The guy he's fighting, Chase, the Dream Hooper, which I can't remember them actually calling him the Dream.
I think they do.
I just, maybe it's just because I don't like him.
I don't either. I've never liked him or really known what to think of him.
I have actually grown to like Chase Hooper.
The personality, I like him.
Yeah.
But
obviously, young guy, super green when he first started. Actually has shown growth in the hands department. We saw that with the Vyacheslav Borshev fight.
Yeah, we were there. I was there.
You guys were there for it was St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That you go out and drop Borshev and then darce him. You're getting better, and against a guy who's known for his striking.
Yeah.
He's
won 4 in a row.
He's on a hell of a streak. I think he's shown growth. He's gotten stronger. I think his physical stature. When he first joined, he looked just rail thin BJJ guy, and now he actually looks like he's put on muscle. Like he's kind of growing into his body. He's looked better. His hands have looked better. Obviously, killer off his back. I don't know. We'll see. He's going against an absolute stud in Jim, who even at his age will still knock your fucking face off. But he just got done taking down an old vet in Clay Guida.
Clay had nothing for him on the mat.
Could not do anything for him. Jim obviously is going to have.
That's what I'm wondering. What's the levels going to look like on the mat here?
Yeah.
Is Jim like that much better than Clay Guida?
I just going off of my opinion, I think so.
Yeah.
On the mat at least. Clay Guida was just a guy who just kept going and zombie.
He kind of did it to himself. Too,
Yeah.
if I remember right, he kind of put himself in that position. It seemed like.
Yeah, because he doesn't know anything but forward.
Yeah.
And hair in the face and all that shit. So, this will be a fun one. Old versus new. Will Chase be the old man slayer and get 2 old guys out of there, or will Jim keep the streak going and kill another guy, an up and comer? So we'll see. I'm excited for it. I like Jim, obviously legend, and I like the.
How is that possible?
Holy, wow, I didn't know it was that. Minus 700 huge favorite for Chase Hooper.
That is shocking to me.
That
I figured
is,
he'd maybe the favorite, but not that.
yeah, that's gonna. I don't know. That's got to change. That's gonna change probably a week closer to the fight.
People think they think pretty highly of Chase Hooper nowadays.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for that fight.
Yeah. All right. My prelim storyline, and by the way, this card, we've talked about 2 cards in a row, I think, with only 3 ranked fighters on it. This card is 12. One of them being Dan Ige, who's ranked 15. He's the last guy in the rankings right now. The ultimate gatekeeper. I mean, this is about as gatekeepery of a spot and situation as there is right now. 15th ranked Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Woodson, this dude kind of had a kind of some shitty performances like real early in his UFC career, but now he's 7-1-1 in the UFC. He's won 4 in a row. He had his draw, and he'd won 2 in a row before that as well. Beat Yusuf Zalal. That's big. That's aged well. Beat up Jourdain, a split decision. Beat Bruce Leroy, knocked out Fernando Padilla. Obviously, one of the weirdest looking people around.
Yes.
And he's from St. Louis. Shout out. He's from our home state. Phenomenal boxer.
Yes.
He is a guy, and we see this a lot, I feel like. He has beaten people more decisively the better his opponents have gotten, it seems like. And part of it is just him getting more comfortable and him. He's feeling himself nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell the way he's messing around out there, like he is feeling himself. He's got phenomenal boxing. Plus, 3rd best takedown defense all time in featherweight history.
That's crazy.
Obviously, he's going to fight better guys, and that number is probably going to come down. But as of right now, 91.1% takedown D, lands a ton of significant strikes, 7th all time significant strikes landed per minute, 5.67. Ige, we know Ige. I mean, Ige, I got tied 7th all time featherweight, total fights 17, 7th in total fight time at featherweight, 3 hours 34 minutes, 25 seconds. 6th fastest KO, 22 seconds at featherweight.
Yeah.
10th fastest sub, 1:17. So he's either, and he's never been finished. All his losses are decisions. As we all know, he either finishes you or he loses a decision.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. He's a guy that I feel like he's just like, he's got some wrestling, but in his mind it's always like, I have wrestling in my back pocket if I need to use it. But to him, it's like he never needs to use it because he's one. He just has to find you once, and it's all over.
Oh yeah.
And I think he always just thinks that I don't need to wrestle. Like I just can knock this guy out with one punch. But I think Sean's gonna beat him.
I mean, Sean's definitely obviously going to be the taller, longer fighter, lanky dude.
For a guy with a head the size of the Easter Island heads, he is so hard to hit, and he is such a clean boxer, and he is so tricky that I think we're going to see Ige, kind of like Emmett. I think Ige is going to be trying to cut him off the whole time, trying to find him, and just not really having much success with it.
You probably hit the nail right on the head there. Ige obviously he's fought everybody. He is the ultimate gatekeeper in the sense of you got to go through Ige if you want to do anything in this division. It's crazy to see him at 15, where he's been riding up there at the top for most of his career. So, I don't know. This one's exciting. Obviously, he can finish a fight, but I agree with you. Woodson's going to be hard to find.
Yeah. And again, I don't. First of all, like I said, Woodson, great takedown D, but I think Ige I kind of think he should try to take him down, but I just don't think he will.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ige, we can see a big overhand here, but I just think Woodson's just, like I said, he's feeling himself right now. He is really skilled. He is the tallest, weirdest built person ever. And I just think he's on I mean, Ige's 2 losses in a row. Obviously, Lerone Murphy, Diego Lopez on 1 day notice. Can't complain about that too much. You know, those are good guys.
Yeah.
Is Woodson to that level? We'll find out. I think he is personally, but we'll see.
Yeah, very talented dude. That'll be a fun fight to watch. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and Woodson, obviously, he will be ranked if he beats Ige. So this is his big opportunity. And I think the UFC kind of likes Woodson. I think he's got a fun style, kind of a, you know, like I said, showboaty type guy. So if he beats Ige, I think we could see him get pushed a little bit. Not a ton. He's not the most marketable guy in the world, probably looks wise.
Yeah.
But
he's starting, like you said, he's starting to feel himself, especially the last few fights. He's talked more shit.
He'll have a call out ready for this too, 100%. I think he may be getting a pretty big opportunity after this if he wins. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. We'll see if the gatekeeps.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, moving on to the main card. It looks like I'm up first based on the new order. They've switched around the order of the fights a little bit here. Light heavyweight, Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. We mentioned this earlier. Kind of late add to this card. Krylov is awesome. I love Krylov. And I think everyone out there should love him as well. The reason you don't love him and you don't talk about him is because he does not fight.
Yeah.
He never fights. He's 11-7 in the UFC. He kind of had a little bit of some rough patches in here, but
he fought some killers.
Yeah. I mean, he's been, that's 19 fights? 18. This will be his 19th, but he's been in the UFC since 2013.
Yeah.
He's been here forever. He just is super inactive. His last fight was all the way back in March of 2023.
Yeah, like we've said this off air, we just find people that are okay with these huge fucking layoffs.
Yeah. And I have no idea like what the circumstances have been. He had one booked against my homie Azamat Murzakanov. But the reason that he's awesome, he's fun, is basically this exact thing right here. Okay. He has the 5th fastest submission in light heavyweight history. 1:24 seconds. But he's also been on the receiving end of the 7th fastest submission in light heavyweight history against OSP, 1:29 seconds. And that, in a nutshell, explains everything you need to know about Nikita Krylov.
Yeah.
He is kill or be killed. Crazy. Just, you clip him and he just starts swinging.
Yeah.
He just goes crazy. He is a really dangerous grappler. He's, you know, they teach in jiu-jitsu class, position over submission. No.
Don't.
Submission over position. Kind of Robert Valentine-esque, but better. Just takes risks, ends up on the bottom, throws up subs, gets dropped, drops the other guy. Just everything's crazy with this guy. He basically drags you into a pace that you're not going to be able to keep, is kind of the plan with him. I can keep this pace better than you can. Let's have a crazy fight. And it's awesome. He just needs to do it more. Now, Dominic Reyes, we all know Dominic Reyes. He, top of the world, arguably beat John Jones, gets died 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
But the thing with this is that, and I've always kind of felt like this, the only bad one here was the Span one. He got knocked out by a jab. Other than that, the Yuri one, he hit it. Yuri, it was like the Rakic fight with Yuri. Rakic and Dominic Reyes hit Yuri with stuff that would have knocked out everybody else on the planet. Reyes hurt him a couple times in that fight. Was probably landed more.
I think that was a fight where he dropped Dominic, and then he
Oh.
got an up kick, and Yuri said that he went out on that, and he landed on top of Dominic, but recovered.
Was that fight?
I could be wrong, but I
Yeah.
thought he had Dominic down, and Dominic threw an up kick that hit Yuri inside of the head, and he dropped. Yuri said he admitted to going out, but woke up on top of Dominic,
Yeah.
and then proceeded to kill him with
The elbow and stuff. But again, I feel like Reyes hit him with stuff that most guys wouldn't have been able to to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I feel like the Dominic Reyes is so chinny stuff was overblown.
Yeah. Just
You
fight
get-
some killers.
Yeah. The Ryan Spann one was bad.
Yeah.
But other than that, the other ones are fine. I mean, Jan Blachowicz, I think he's pretty good. He's knocked some people out before.
Mhm.
So Reyes, obviously, he's won 2 in a row now. The Dustin Jacoby one, where he actually kind of was hurt a little bit in that one too.
Yeah.
Finishes Jacoby, and then Anthony Smith just didn't want to be there.
No.
Quit, essentially. Dominic, I didn't write him down, but he has that fight is like, actually, I think I did write it down. Third best striking differential in a fight in light heavyweight history was against Anthony Smith. He landed 100 more strikes.
Yeah, that was Anthony Smith. I've said it a bunch. Is here to get a paycheck.
And I'm pretty sure the significant head strikes landed, or maybe just total head strikes landed, one of the two, was a 3-digit number by Reyes on Smith in that fight. So he whooped his ass. Now, Anthony's kind of washed, obviously, but the way as far as the way this fight's going to play out, I'm not exactly sure because Dominic Reyes, he's 8th best takedown defense in light heavyweight history, like 82.5% takedown D. Krylov is going to try to take him down, or at least it's going to end up on the mat one way or another.
Yeah.
Either.
Also, just is Dominic's actually being active going to play a big factor in too?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge layoff for Krylov.
And
He's obviously
Krylov's
a killer,
style
so-
is like get to it like immediately and let's go.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe the layoff doesn't allow that. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Ultimate. So this surprised me. Krylov's minus 190, even with the layoff, with Reyes being kind of back. Minus 190 Krylov. I think Krylov's going to finish him.
Yeah.
I think he's, and we'll probably see Krylov get hurt a couple times before, but Krylov just drags you to hell and just finds a way.
It's so crazy. Just the layoffs, and you're still able to just come out, and maybe that's the way he combats it. Is the way he comes out of
Just the
starts a fight. It comes out of a layoff.
You just say, "Hey, this is the plan," and you just fucking do it. I think Reyes, he's a guy that he's okay with fighting at a slow pace. He actually he likes a slow pace on the outside where he can throw that left hand. He's southpaw. He can.
When it gets crazy, that's where
Krylov's
he's
not gonna let that happen.
no.
So I don't know. I don't think minus 190 is right. I think it should be closer, but I think I am gonna pick Krylov to just drown him and make it crazy, drag him into a crazy fight. So that's it for me on that one. Now, Chad, you got 3 in a row.
3 in a row. All right, so here I've got who we got here. First one, Yair Rodriguez versus newcomer to the UFC, Patricio Pitbull. Obviously, Yair, we know who Yair is. 19.5, he's 32 years old, which still it kind of baffles me. He's 32.
Yep.
Because he looks young, and I just could have swore he was younger.
Oh, you thought he was younger?
I thought he was younger. Just he's been in the UFC for a hot minute.
Yeah.
But I still thought he was young. Just I think it's probably because of the way he looks and everything. We know who Yair is. 10-4 in the UFC. He's fought some killers. Crafty dude. He throws some wild kicks. I mean, he can be all right on the ground when he wants to be.
He's like dangerous, but not like good at grappling.
Yeah.
He can sub you at catching something, but he's not. We saw it with Ortega. Not
Exactly.
not the best grappler in the world.
He struggles with getting taken down.
Yep.
That's what people are going to do to him. And sometimes when it comes down to that, he kind of he's a tough dude. I'm not saying he's a quitter or anything like that, but sometimes when he gets frustrated, you kind of see it leave his eyes, like,
which is so weird because
fuck.
we saw him against Max. Like, he ate so much.
Oh yeah,
and no quit, and then you put him in a bad grappling situation, and then he's like,
fuck, I don't want to. Yeah,
maybe get out of here.
Yeah, it's almost like he finds a way out or something. But
58% takedown D.
Yeah, he's fighting a guy in Patricio Pitbull, big vet, 37 years old, has fought a ton of dudes, some big names, lost to some big names.
He has some weird losses on his record.
Some of his losses are, you're like, what the?
Chihiro Suzuki, we talked about this guy the other day in Ryzen. He lost on Ryzen in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Suzuki knocked out Pitbull.
Yeah, it was
the first round.
It's weird. He's a tough dude. He's pretty well rounded.
Yeah.
Will his age play a factor in this, and the fact that he's had some crazy fights, he's had some wars.
I don't know. For some reason, UFC Stats actually has stats for Pitbull in here, even though he's had no UFC fights.
Yeah, I mean, what, 27 or 17% takedown, or 18%?
18, but 94% takedown D.
Yeah, I mean, you're not taking him down. I don't think Yair's going to try and take him down. I think most of this fight's going to be standing up. Yair can get hit. Will he throw some flashy shit that Pitbull, hasn't seen or may get caught with? I think Pitbull's probably going to be the physically stronger guy. I think he's definitely going to be the slower dude, in a sense of that. But depending
a lot
on
shorter too,
a lot shorter, yes. I think really it depends on what kind of Yair are we going to get. I'm going to go with Yair.
Yeah.
Just the sense of he is a crafty striker. He's going to be quicker. He's a longer fighter. Minus 200, moderate favorite there. So
yeah.
This is another Bellator guy. UFC's like, no build up. You're fighting number 5 or whatever Yair is now.
Yeah, he's number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, and also Pitbull being in the UFC now, I think path to victory here would be a grapple with Yair, obviously. Yeah. But first your UFC debut, you're the big Pitbull from Bellator. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, when we've seen Michael Chandler when he came in, his debut was Dan Hooker.
You knocked him out.
And he came out and knocked out Dan Hooker. Yeah.
He has how many knockouts? He have 12 knockouts.
Yeah, so he's
12 subs.
Yeah, he's got the power.
12 decisions.
12 decisions. Wow. Yeah, so like I said, he can do it all.
I think he's well rounded.
Yeah. This really, like I said, depends on what kind of Yair we're going to get. Is Yair going to try and find the back door and maybe if he gets frustrated, gets out of there? Yair is tough. Obviously, we mentioned the Max fight. That was a war between the two. But I think Yair, if he's smart, goes back to his roots where he is just quicker, crafty, and throws what he wants at Pitbull. Now, Pitbull, like you said, probably should grapple here.
Yeah.
Or at least use the grappling to make it dirty to land something big on Yair.
We may get a lot of cage pushing here.
Yeah.
From Pitbull.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'm excited. Again, UFC is not giving any favors to these Bellator guys.
No.
But I think it'll be a fun one. In my opinion, Pitbull should have been in the UFC a long time ago, but you know how that goes. Making more money over in Bellator probably and all that. So if he wins here, then it sucks because he's older, but then we're right in the mix of things in a division that is pretty scary. So
yeah, you beat the number 5. I mean, that's you're right up in there.
Oh yeah. So I mean, that was fun. Moving on to the next fight, we got Thug Nasty.
God, I just realized that main event featherweight. This is featherweight. Last fight was featherweight. The last week's main event was featherweight.
Yeah.
And the last PFL event had featherweights.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a featherweight month.
Everybody's just following suit, I guess. So we got Thug Nasty Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Lord Silva. Silva called for it, got his wish. He wants to put a hurting on Bryce for being anti-Semitic or whatever. Bryce wants to put a hurting on Lord Silva for all the bad juju stuff he was having in his dreams and stuff. So this one's fun. Obviously, Bryce, 30 years old, 17-2, great grappler. He's got, I think, underrated hands.
Yeah.
Super tough guy. Obviously, his last fight, 2 fights ago, Josh Emmett, he got sent to another realm.
Never been the same.
And hasn't been the same, according to his social media.
Yeah, he should be talking about Emmett haunting his dreams, not John Silva.
Yeah. His last fight against Kron Gracie, he came out and beat the absolute brakes off Kron Gracie.
Yeah.
Which was a given, really.
Yeah.
Kron is just a butt scooter and doesn't want to throw punches.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce is just, he's so out of his own ass right now.
He just keeps talking too.
He
Like,
just doesn't stop. He is firmly in whatever beliefs he is. Just a conspiracy theorist, flat earther. Do your thing or whatever. But man, you were getting so much shit online and for all this stuff. Obviously, skilled fighter. He's still young. He's going against an absolute killer in Gene Silva.
Aura machine.
Yeah, this guy is big. I mean, all the aura right now. He's 15-2. He's 28 years old. He's in his absolute prime right now. This guy is on a super hot streak, has power for days, knows when to pick his shots, lands them, and when he lands, you go to sleep. You're going to sit down and eat a few more punches.
I think he's got like the best timing in the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, he can just catch these guys at just the perfect time.
Mm-hmm. He's great. I love him. Obviously, part of the Fighting Nerds. This guy is great, and I think this fight is going to be fun. I hope. Obviously, everybody's hoping for a banger in the sense of knockouts and stuff like that, but for Bryce's sake, I hope not.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, if Bryce loses, it's probably going to be via knockout.
Yeah. But to Bryce's advantage, Gene has shown some struggling with the grappling.
Yeah.
And Bryce can be pretty crafty on the ground. Will Gene Silva keep the streak going? Will he connect? Because if he does, it's you're donezo.
Yeah.
This one's going to be a fun one. This one was tough for me on picking who was going to win.
I'm scared for Silva.
Yeah.
I want him to win 100%, but I kind of don't think I would be picking him.
What
honestly.
are the odds on this one?
Plus 260 Bryce.
Really?
That's aura. I mean,
yeah, that's a little disrespectful. Really.
I don't.
That is definitely. I think as we get closer, that might get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Via odds wise, but I think this one I didn't even select which one I think is going to win because I think it's going to be a tough.
I think of the Ige fight with Bryce where Bryce was just stuck to him like glue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's hard to knock somebody out when they're just stuck to your hip and holding on to you the whole time.
Yeah. I
don't know. Silva's kind of a guy that he can fall behind a little bit in fights and then he catches you.
Yeah. So
like what happens if he doesn't catch him?
Yeah, then you're behind the entire fight. So will Bryce stop the momentum and take down a Fighting Nerd? It's very possible. This one's a tough one. I'm excited for it though, especially the animosity between each other.
Oh yeah.
Which I think the animosity is mainly on Bryce. Bryce doesn't like Silva, but Silva's kind of playing into the talking shit, getting in your head kind of.
The dreams, like, that's like, can you be in someone's head anymore than that?
You're saying you got dreams of Lord Silva tempting you with women and anger.
Now, I feel like Bryce, I don't think he's going to be affected by that during the fight.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to fight different. I think he's just going to do what he always does. But
I think so too. I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm excited, and I'm not going to pick because I don't know.
With the way the odds are, I would probably just pick Bryce. Like, with the plus 260.
Throw some money on Bryce. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I hope Silva knocks his head off. All right, co-main 5 rounds.
Co-main 5-rounder. Got Iron Mike Chandler versus Patty the Baddie Pimblett. John does not like Patty. I like Patty. I like the personality. I think he's actually a pretty good fighter. I think he is sneaky on the ground, sneaky grappler. I think he has pretty good hands. Not necessarily the most crisp boxer or anything like that, or striker. And everybody knows Chandler. Chandler is a showman, an absolute unit when it comes to physical strength and explosivity. He has fought everybody. He's fought all killers. He's 2-4 in the UFC, but he's lost to all killers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that run, he went from debuting Dan Hooker, knocks out Hooker, loses to Charles Oliveira, which he almost won.
Yeah.
Then he fights Justin Gaethje, puts on the fight of the year, contender. I don't know if they won in that one that year, but they went on there. Then he goes and kicks Tony Ferguson's head into the ceiling. The guy has all the power, throws caution to the wind, not a technical striker, throws looping hooks. That's
the thing is I feel like he is a technical striker. He just chooses not to be.
I think he's at the point where he's putting on a show.
He's here for a good time, not a long time.
Exactly. He has said he wants to get back up and get a title shot.
Yeah.
But the way he has fought as of late is not indicative to trying to become a champ. He fights, the IQ goes out the window, and I'm just gonna throw a bunch of bullshit. A lot of people think he's a dirty fighter, punch in the back of the head, fingers in the mouth of Dustin, all that shit. I don't necessarily think he's a bad guy. I think he's just trying to put on a show and tries to find a way, whether it be shitty or not. But fighting Patty, very sneaky on the ground, very good off his back. Super tough guy, has been hit hard.
He's very durable.
Yes. Great cardio. We've seen him go with decisions, with Tony and Jared Gordon. Almost said Gooden. But can he weather the storm of Michael Chandler? Because the longer this goes on, it is better for Patty. I think in the sense of Chandler, when he explodes, he's super jacked, uses all that, explosiveness to try and finish the fight early. Can gas, where he looks tired by the second round.
Yeah.
And Patty's got good cardio. If he weathers the storm, I think we're probably looking at him subbing Michael Chandler. That's how I see it going.
I almost wonder if the fact that Patty's not going to have this big war on the feet with Chandler, I wonder if that is actually good for Chandler, as far as he's going to fight more technical.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to just actually use the skills he has instead of going to war.
Yeah.
He's almost going to be forced to fight good.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that too. Especially if he wants to get back into title contention, he's going to have to do that.
Yeah.
Because if he has another loss,
obviously he needs to mind his P's and Q's so he doesn't get his fucking back taken.
Oh yeah. But I really, that's how I see this fight going. I think Patty's going to choke out Michael Chandler. I think that's what happened. If he can weather the storm, the first round, second round of Mike Chandler just leaping punches, going absolute berserker mode, I think Patty subs him.
I could definitely see like 3rd, 4th, and 5th just being Patty just being on his back.
Yeah. And it's either Patty subbing him or.
But the wrestling, obviously Chandler's a wrestler.
Yeah.
So like he's not gonna be easy to get down.
No. I think this is going to be something off the back by Patty.
Yeah, just like
a reversal
in the clinch. Chandler like overthrows a punch and they clinch up and he just jumps to the back or something.
I think it's going to be something like that. So, especially if Patty can weather the storm and get over the the barrage or berserker mode, like I said, of Chandler. But that's going to be a fun one. Every fight Chandler fights is a show. You can, even when he's getting his ass kicked, like we saw with Oliveira, like he's losing, he's got Oliveira on his back. He's trying to fight off a rear naked choke, and he's trying to do backflips with the guy on his and landing, counting how many times he's doing it, and laughing while he's doing it. He's a showman. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to make money, but also, if you want to come back to fighting for the belt, you got to
win.
Yeah, you got to win and fight smart.
The whole point.
So he did say there was some mention of Chandler saying, I need to fight a little bit. My fight IQ there has got to be a little bit better, and maybe now that he's recognized it or at least acknowledged it, maybe we'll get a different, more calculated Chandler. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely an interesting one. The odds are, I don't know. I guess they don't really surprise me. -160 Patty, but I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just based on aura and the trajectory.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily mad at that. I'm sure it'll bounce around as we get closer, but
yeah. All right, main event. For the vacant featherweight title, Alex Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. I think everyone knows these guys. I don't really have to explain how they fight a whole lot, but this one's weird, man. Like I both think I both understand that why Volk is the favorite, and I kind of think he should be the favorite. While at the same time, also I think this is kind of a bad matchup for him.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird because I'm actually surprised Volk is the favorite. I thought Diego would be the favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think I don't know. You could make a point. I think either direction. Volk's a bad matchup for Diego, or Diego's a bad matchup for Volk. I'm falling on the side where I think Diego's not a great matchup for Volk because Volk wants to. He for being a short dude, like he is a great range striker.
Mm-hmm.
Like he touches these guys up and they can't find him. And they can't touch him back. When they're on the outside doing what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But Diego is all the way out, or he is flying in there into the pocket and swinging.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
he's wild and sloppy, and I think, again, you can make the argument that, okay, Volk can take advantage of a guy being sloppy and wild.
Mm-hmm.
Volk doesn't knock anybody out. He's not a big hitter.
No.
Will he catch Diego a few times? I'm sure probably will. But Volk's, I don't know, is he chinny? Maybe. I don't necessarily think he's chinny.
He just fought 2 killers and got knocked out.
But at some point, Diego's going to come flying in the range, and Volk's going to be doing the city kickboxing lean back,
mm-hmm.
and that's not going to be out of range because Diego's going to be
going to get him against the fence.
A rhinoceros flying in there.
Yeah.
Rhinoceri.
This one scares me for Volk. Obviously, we love Volk. The legend, arguably the GOAT of that division. This is scary for me.
Now, I'm not necessarily saying that I don't think this is one I'm probably not going to pick on.
Yeah. I'm not going to pick either, but I am leaning a little just from the past of what has happened, what we've seen, and the way Diego fights, the matchup wise. It scares the shit out of me for Volk.
I think Volk, for a guy like Lopez who comes flying into the pocket, he'd be okay. Let's duck under and take him down as he's crashing into range. Well, you don't want to take him down. No,
it's Diego's very, very dangerous off his back.
Yeah, like it's kind of Volk is going to be forced to stand with him and is going to have to pick it, just outpoint him for 5 rounds.
Mhm.
And that's it. That's his only, really, for me, like, I think that's Volk's only path to victory, really.
Mhm.
Could he knock him out? Yes, obviously he could. I think Diego's got probably more ways to win.
Yes, I agree.
So
This
I don't
one's
know.
scary, but I'm so excited for it.
Yes, it's gonna be interesting. I don't have a great read on what is going to happen. There's a lot of options, I think, for how this could go. But I think I guess I said I wasn't going to make a pick. I think I am going to pick Diego. Not because I want that to happen.
Yeah,
But
I love them both. Diego, obviously an up and comer in the sense of he's still young.
he's only 5-1 in the UFC.
Yeah, 5-1 in the UFC. He
lost in the Contender Series.
And then he debuts against Evloev
Yep.
and almost fucking wins the fight.
Yep.
But
That's another thing. Cardio.
Yeah.
5 rounds. I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact. I figured it probably Diego's first 5-rounder, maybe definitely in the UFC it is.
Yeah.
Diego's explosive.
Mm-hmm.
He throws everything 100%. Can he get tired? Does he get tired in this fight?
Yeah, we haven't really seen how far he can go, I don't think.
He got tired against Ige.
Yeah, and I think I know he got tired against Ige, but also he was supposed to fight Ortega.
Yeah.
And that, Ige fought him on 6 hours notice.
So Ige should be tired.
No, Ige, oh yeah,
Not
Ige
Lopez.
should be tired, but I also think you probably get a little bit, it has to do with who you're fighting. You're like, fuck, I don't know how you do it. So you're thinking more, you're moving around more.
It was also a catch weight at 165.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he weighed in at 145 still.
I'm not sure.
But it was at 165 instead of 145. Obviously.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's part of it. It's just weird. We've seen the Evloev crazy scramble fest short notice for him fight. Didn't get tired.
Yeah.
Cardio held up good. And then we saw kind of the other way around, striking the whole time. The other guy short notice, and he got tired.
Yeah.
So it's weird. I don't think he's going to get tired here, but it could happen.
Very possible. We'll see. That one I'm excited for. So excited for, but so scared.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. I think this for a vacant title fight, this feels big.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
It doesn't feel like just some random vacant title fight between two guys that don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, any last thoughts on?
Welcome to my
Banger of a song. But no, I mean, other than that, it's a fun card. I think we're going to see some bangers on it.
Berna getting a title shot after this?
I think she should.
She should. Yeah.
She's got to get through Jana and Yan, but
she's good. Yan's good too.
yeah, Yan is very good, but Verna Crazy Eyes is
just gets it done,
yeah,
man.
She's a workhorse.
Can you find anybody more marketable than Verna?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Tracy Cortez, who?
Yeah. But no, it's gonna be a fun card. I'm excited for it.
All right. Let's we talked about PFL last week and today, the results of that card. They got another event on Thursday. This time around, it is on Thursday, right? On Friday. This time around, it's the women's flyweight and the men's bantamweights. I didn't really look too much into this card. The main event's Tyler Santos, who, formerly a UFC fighter, actually had a pretty close fight with Valentina at one point. Ditch of a smashed her last year. But she's fighting Juliana Velasquez. Velasquez has been around Bellator forever. Leandro Higo's pretty good.
Mondo, he's a Ultimate Fighter guy.
Yeah, Mondo Gutierrez on the Ultimate Fighter.
I liked him on there, but
I didn't even know he was in this, actually.
He got kneed.
Yes. Liz Carmouche, she's on this card as well. Jake Hadley.
Okay.
I met him. Formerly of the UFC, obviously. Yeah, not a ton of names on this one, really. I mean, the girls, I guess not even just the girls. I don't know a lot of these girls or guys, really, on this card. But who knows? I like learning about new fighters, so
me too.
Maybe a good card. Again, that's on Friday. PFL second event of the year. And other than that, I got 3 events to tell you about real quick, and we got to get out of here. LFA 206 on Friday. This one, they went from Brazil last weekend, I'm pretty sure, to Prior Lake, Minnesota this weekend.
It's right around the corner.
As always, LFA on UFC Fight Pass. I like LFA a lot. I do recommend you watch it if you want some more MMA this weekend. Main event at welterweight, no title or anything, but 9-3 Keegan Ginrich versus 7-2 John Paul Lebosnoyani from Canada. And then the only other really anything of note here is Joey Hart, who was on the Contender Series this past year. He lost to Benjamin Bennett. If I remember right, I don't think Bennett got signed. He beat Joey Hart. I don't think he got signed.
Yeah.
So maybe he did. I could be wrong. He's on this card. He's fighting Omoyele Gonzalez. Friday.
These names, man.
ACA 185. So ACA, I've never actually mentioned ACA on this show because it's in Russia, and I don't know a lot of I don't know anybody that fights on these cards. But these ACA cards have guys with a lot of great records. Ton of guys with good records. It's a really good promotion. I just don't know much about it. It's in Russia. This card here is on Friday, and it's in Minsk, Belarus. And it is an internet stream thing. I don't know how to buy it or watch it. Got to be honest with you. But ACA, good promotion. Welterweight main event, 24-11. Andre Koshkin versus 13-1. Dennis Maher, UFC vet. He was 1-1-1 in the UFC back in 2015. Levon Makashvili out of Georgia. Shout out to Marab. Also on this card versus Ladislav Mishkevich. And then last but not least, on Saturday, Unified MMA 61 in Edmonton on UFC Fight Pass. Super lightweight title.
Super lightweight.
165 pounds. 1-4 UFC vet Shane Campbell versus 10-3 Giuliano Brasindo. Shane Campbell, one of his losses in the UFC was James Krause back in the day.
Okay.
1-4. And since then, he's kind of ran the show over at Unified.
Really?
He's been the champ for a while over there. And that's it. Pretty, aside from the big pay-per-view and aside from PFL, not a ton going on.
Yeah.
Definitely polar opposite of last weekend when there was a million things going on. Anything else on this episode, Chad?
No, man. I mean, this is kind of pay-per-view where I'm excited for. Really, the whole card, top to bottom. A lot of fights on here that I'm excited to see. A lot of names. Obviously, I think you said 12 ranked fighters.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun one. Obviously, we're seeing legend Volk fight Diego Lopez. That's the main event. I'm excited for it. Got names like Michael Chandler and Patty Pimblett. It's gonna be a nice.
If John Silva loses, it's a terrible card.
That would
that'll make or break it for me.
Make or break it for you.
No, I want him to win though.
Yeah, no, I think I want him to win too. The Fighting Nerds, I love it. I was looking the other night actually buying a shirt.
Yes, because we are the main event of the card we're going to is a Fighting Nerd.
Yeah.
So tell me which one you're getting so I don't buy it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, no, it's exciting pay-per-view. This is one of the better pay-per-views in a while. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. This one, I think, is going to deliver, and name value-wise has a ton on it. So I'm stoked about it. Let us know your thoughts on any of it. Anything we've talked about on the show today. Give us a comment. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. And all our socials will be in the description below. Anything else?
No, we're good.
Alrighty. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Later.